Good guess. That's not quite it either. Let's see someone I haven't called on yet. Yeah, maybe.
He's doing it now.
Well, it's not necessarily
when they're scared, it's just to feel like
you want to be a ball? Yes, these guys, when they get scared, their defense is not usually to bite, it's to roll into a ball. Pretty silly, but it actually is helpful for them because out in the wild, things want to eat them. They're a fairly small animal compared to other animals in Africa. So if an animal wants to eat them, do you think it's easier to eat them like a spaghetti noodle? Or is it easier to eat them rolled up into a ball? Which one's easier? Spaghetti noodle. It's a little bit easier. So this way, when they're rolled into a ball, they can protect their precious little face, which is pretty awesome. Now, these guys are one of the most popular pet snakes in the world. So do you guys think this is a normal color that we'd see in the wild? Who says yes? Who says no? You guys are correct. So this coloration you would not see in the wild because if he was this color, he would probably get eaten pretty young because he would stand out. Everything would see him. So these guys are actually usually a dark brown and black color. So that's going to help them blend into the ground and the trees around them. So that hopefully nothing will see them and they won't get eaten. But since they're such popular pets, we have bred them to have different colors and patterns. And we call that morphs. So this is one type of morph. I'm not sure what kind, there's hundreds of them. But not every morph is good. So if we do go out and decide we want to get a ball python and we want to get a really cool color, it's very important to research what kind of morph you're going to get. Because there are some that come with some bad health issues. There is one type in particular that's pretty famous called the spider ball python. And those guys are notorious for having neurological illnesses, which can cause them to have a pretty bad life, unfortunately. So it's very important that we do lots of research before bringing home any new pet. Now, is anyone out here afraid of snakes? Yeah? What's so scary about snakes? What's so scary?
The fact that they're so silent.
They're so silent. Yeah, they are very silent. It's one of the things that helps them survive out there. He doesn't have a lot to say. There are some, though, that are pretty vocal or use other sounds to help protect themselves. Has anyone heard of a rattlesnake? Yeah. So rattlesnakes use sound to help protect themselves. So they give you lots of warning and say, hey, I'm over here, please stay away from me. Some other snakes use vocalizations like pine snakes. They have a special voice that sounds so loud you could hear it in the next room over. And that is to intimidate other animals so that they leave them alone. What else is scary about snakes? Maybe their mouth? They're scared to get bitten. Yeah? It's pretty scary to get bitten by any animal, you guys. What do you guys think would happen if he bit me right now? What do you think would happen? I would run? I would not run. I've actually been bitten by a snake about this size before, and it doesn't really hurt that bad. They do have teeth, about 50 of them in their mouth. They're all sharp. But these guys are not an animal that chews their food, which means they don't have a lot of muscles in their jaw. And because they don't have a lot of muscles, their bite is not that hard. So this guy, in fact, is less dangerous than a house cat. Yeah, which is pretty cool. So less dangerous than a house cat, so I'm not worried at all if he were to bite me. In fact, snakes only bite for 3 reasons. Does anyone want to guess one of those reasons? to help protect themselves. In fact, that's why a lot of snakes are venomous, right? To help protect themselves or to be able to catch food. So some snakes will bite if they're scared, including this guy. What else? Why else might a snake bite besides being scared?
Sometimes when they're like mating, or like when they're like snakes, like more aggressive, and they may start like biting.
Yeah, absolutely. So you kind of have an extra one there. Not part of my usual 3. But yes, sometimes during mating season, snakes can get a little bit more defensive. And some snakes will actually use biting to bite the females and hold them down. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy, I scared you. So that is an extra one. But for us, we really only have the main 3. Them being scared of us. What else? For prey? Yeah, so if they think something's food. Now, right now, I don't smell like anything except soap and a snake. Nothing. But do you guys think if I rubbed my hand all over a rat, which is his favorite snack, do you think he'd bite me if I did this? Yeah, because my hand would smell delicious, and he wouldn't know the difference between my hand and a rat. So absolutely, that's another reason. And the last reason is kind of weird. But if an animal gets irritated or upset, do you think they might try to bite? Yeah. Who here has a pet cat at home? If you guys were to go home and poke your cat over and over again, please don't do that, it's really mean. But poke your cat over and over and over, do you think eventually your cat might bite or scratch you and tell you, hey, knock that off? Most of the time, yes. Animals only have so many ways to communicate with us to tell us to stop. And these guys have very subtle ways that we don't always see. So if we're not seeing those or listening to them, then they might bite to tell us to stop. Absolutely. Now, snakes are very, very important animals to their environment and to us. Does anyone know why they are so important? I'm going to call on someone I haven't called on yet. They eat pets. Absolutely. This guy is out there eating rodents and sometimes birds. Who here likes having wild mice run around your house? Nobody? You do?
I do.
Couple kids do, but most of us adults don't like it, right? So snakes help keep their numbers down and help keep them out of our house. Can everyone say thank you, snakes?
Thank you.
They do such a good job. If it wasn't for them, rodents would be able to reproduce more quickly and we would have too many of them. Absolutely. Now, we talked about snakes being important, so that means we have to talk about ways to keep our local snakes happy and abundant so that they do not become endangered or extinct. What are some ways that we can easily help our local snakes? By not killing them? Is that what you said? Yeah, that's the easiest way, you guys. Don't kill the snake. If you guys do see a snake in your house, in your yard, you're not sure what it is, you don't want it there, you can call local places that will send volunteers out to remove the snake for free. That way you're safe and so is the snake. What are some other ways that we can help snakes? So I get that one a lot, to feed the snake. But actually, you guys, it's the opposite. You don't want to feed wildlife at all. Because then wildlife can view us as a food source. And not everybody is super nice, right? So if this snake associates people with food, and then comes up to the wrong person in the wild, and that person's really scared, do you think that might be bad for the snake and the person? Probably, yeah. So don't feed wildlife. Yes? Yeah. Sort of. So, we were talking about anacondas are a type of snake that wraps around their prey and squeezes it. This guy is too. It's called a constrictor. And we once thought that they were suffocating their prey, but that's not actually what's happening. Instead, they're squeezing hard enough that it restricts blood flow. So it's actually a lot faster. Yeah. So what are some other ways that we can help our local snakes, you guys?
Take care of our environment.
Take care of our environment. That doesn't just help snakes, that helps all animals, including us. So make sure if we are out camping, hiking, a day at the beach, that we clean up after ourselves, right? We don't want to litter. It's gross. I don't want to look at it, you guys. I'm sure most of you don't either. What are some other ways we can help? If there was a venomous snake in what? When you're doing stuff, like out walking and stuff. So if you guys see a venomous snake or any snake out in the wild, when you're walking outside, whether it be your backyard or you're out hiking, you guys know what you should do? Just don't touch it. Just leave it alone, give it lots of space. It's scared of you too. Yeah. So another couple easy ways that we can help local snakes. If anyone has a yard, you can leave a portion of your yard unmowed and instead plant native and non-invasive plants. That gives lots of space for snakes, for rodents, for birds, for turtles, all sorts of stuff to be able to live, find food, or just hang out. And then you get to see cool wildlife in your backyard. Another one is if you guys have cats, keep them inside. Cats are one of the most invasive animals on the planet, and they do a lot of damage. So they kill off local wildlife, lots of birds, snakes, turtles. We want to make sure to keep them inside or leash train them or use something like a catio if you want them to go outside. And the very last way we can help snakes is the type of pest control we use. Has anyone heard of rat poison before? Bad stuff, you guys. Don't use it. It does not just poison the rodents. It poisons the things eating them. So if a rodent, say a mouse, ends up eating that poison, it doesn't work right away. That mouse is probably going to head back outside. That poison might start working, slowing that mouse down. And something like an owl will say, that's a nice tasty snack, and eat the rodent, and it ends up poisoning that animal too. So do not use